What's happening, guys? David Bentinck here, come back to you once again. Restarting this podcast with Nick Good. Looks like we didn't have any sound last time, but I'm excited for this episode once again. Nick Good, my friend, my mentor, my team leader, the person who guided me over these past couple of years and really shaped me and molded me to the agent I am today, joins me live on my podcast, and he's going to share his story on how he went from pizza boy to owning over $100 million worth of real estate assets, and not only that, but being the team leader of a 7-figure real estate agent team. So Nick, or first, by the way, guys, if you're watching this live, drop an L, and if you're watching this on the replay, drop an R. And if you comment where you're watching from. We want to see how far this reaches, and see where exactly you guys are watching from. So Nick, introduce yourself, man. I'm excited to have you.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. So obviously my name is Nick Good. I am the owner and team leader of the Good Home team here at eXp Realty. I am also a real estate investor, as well as I am the co-host with the only real estate podcast worth listening to. So that is the best one to go listen to. So go check that one out if you want to listen to some real estate content.
I don't know, man. I'm catching up to you. So yeah, I'm gaining momentum on this podcast. So I may not have the same setup, but it doesn't matter.
Once you get up to over that 40 those live watchers, then we'll be on the same place.
I think they watch Brian Forrest. They go to watch Forrest.
That's right.
Right, Brian?
That's right.
But anyways, man, you've got an incredible story, and I just want to kind of, bring you on, talk shop, introduce you to my audience, and just kind of see exactly where this goes. There's no real agenda here. Just going to talk real estate, talk about you, talk about what we're seeing in the market. So, man, just take us on that journey. Pizza boy, you reluctantly didn't want to leave the job. You loved it, and now unfortunately you own $100 million worth of real estate. So tell us about that story.
Absolutely. So I've never called it a pizza boy, so that's not what's on my resume. I was a delivery driver delivering pizzas, and I always joked around that it was the best job I ever had. I was in college, man, and I could clock in, clock out, and I knew what to expect on a daily basis, right? Whether it's going to be a busy or slow night. And gas prices started going up, started eating into the tip and money that I was earning. So I had started, looking on our college job board where the college I went to, and there was a opening for a real estate assistant position. And my brother Austin and I, who's my business partner today, we always wanted to be in real estate, in some form or fashion. Never thought it would be on the traditional realtor side, more on the investment side. And we had read Rich Dad Poor Dad when we were in our teens. And so I figured this was an opening to learn, get paid to do it, and applied for this assistant position and got it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Do you think that happens often? Because that was my goal, right? I wanted to get inside real estate investing, but somehow I found myself 3 years as a realtor.
Yeah.
Is that often? What do you think about that? Is you just kind of fall into that role?
What I find is most people it's either or, right? So they got into, they became a realtor because they wanted to be an investor, or what would happen is they became a realtor because they were a real estate investor, and they saw that there was another opportunity to bring in more revenue, right? They're already generating clients, and they could flip that into an extra revenue stream.
Yeah, there's more opportunities once you have your license.
Absolutely. So, I applied for that position and I got it, and I was not licensed. Right? That was not a licensed position at the time, and or requirement. And so what I did was learn. Right, that brokerage was an independent broker, not tied to any of the big franchises or big box brand names that anyone would know. But they were the number one individual independent agent in Richardson, Texas. So they were doing something right. And I just watched, observed, listened, and I got licensed because of them, and started really absorbing what they were doing on a daily basis, right? And their business was built on referrals and marketing. And so they did a lot of attraction and a lot of farming based, not a lot of at that time. And so I took that, and when I graduated college.
What year was this?
This was in 2005.
2005.
So in 2006, I got licensed because they started wanting me to do some more license required activities, such as helping them show their clients around if they had multiple clients wanting to go look at properties. if anybody would call in, I could help them, help them run numbers, et cetera. And so in 2007, I graduated college, and they offered me a full-time position with a salary, a little bit of an override, and it was a great offer. But one thing that I really had to ask myself is I saw the type of money they were making, and I said, look, I appreciate the offer, but can I earn $100,000 my first year if I just went 100% commission and looking for buyers and sellers? And they said, yeah, absolutely. So I turned down that opportunity and that offer from them. I stayed with them, right? So I worked at their brokerage as an independent 100% sales commission agent, and I did not make $100,000.
How much did you end up making?
I sold 3 houses, right?
So a little bit less than the average agent does on a yearly basis.
Yes, yeah, and so it was a learning curve, and even though I had learned a lot from them, I hadn't learned how to turn
Prospect for business.
Exactly, how to turn people strangers who don't know me into saying, hey, I want to hire you. Right. And so that is a journey in itself. That's in my opinion the number one reason why real estate agents fail in this business is they don't learn the process of converting, strangers, even friends and family into putting that confidence, getting that confidence going and saying, hey, you should hire me as your agent. Most people expect their friends and family to hire them.
Definitely. And I've had a few instances where they went a different direction and it wasn't even personal. And I think I can kind of relate to that story because I got into the business when I was 23, 24, and I was solo my first 8 months, and I didn't do dick. Right.
Yeah.
I did 0 deals my first couple months because I didn't know. I was just working on my business card, my website. Right.
You were prospecting a little bit, right? I mean,
I say after 3 months in.
Yeah. So I mean, you were starting to do some lead generation activities, which is great. But here's the thing, you had joined our team, right? So if you fast forward, you did 0 deals in the first 6 or 8 months, right? Mm-hmm. And you were an individual, and you came around to listening to a buddy of yours, Ronnie Phillips, said, hey, you should go interview and start looking at teams. Right. And that's when we sat down and chatted with you and said, look at this opportunity here.
Sure.
And even coming on, it wasn't great. Right. So, joining a real estate team can, it sounds awesome because they have leads, maybe they have the right training, et cetera. But until you actually open your mind to accepting the way that people are doing business.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
You were just going through the daily activities and the daily routine of coming in our office Monday through Friday, making your calls, not really listening to what we were advising you to do on how to talk to strangers and potential clients. Mm-hmm. Right. And that's where we find most real estate agents and most people probably in the sales business in general fail is because they want to put their own spin on it. Right. They want to put their own spin on it before they're ready to put their own spin on it. Mm-hmm. Right. Why reinvent the wheel?
Duplicate, right?
Yeah.
Duplicate success. Duplicate people who've already success. That's the key to the success, right?
Yeah, 100%. So what we look at is I only did 3 years and 3 deals in that 2007 timeframe. I started really studying what the top producers were doing. I wanted to know everything going on.
What were they doing?
They were, a lot of people were working their referrals. I was 24 years old. My friends weren't buying from me because they were broke. They were still in college, right? Or they were still living at home. Mm-hmm. My friends' parents weren't buying from me because I was their friend's kid, right? I'm this 24-year-old, young, naive, don't know what I'm doing person. They did not see me as an equal or as someone that could help them sell their biggest asset.
Right, a professional agent.
Right. So what I needed to do was I needed to learn what these other people were doing, the other sales agents were doing at a high level, and start regurgitating that, right? Start talking the lingo, right? Start learning what the data means when it comes to what is a seller or buyer's market. What are the interest rates doing right now?
So you were taking the time to perfect your craft.
I was taking the time to perfect my craft, but at the same time, I was also learning how to lead generate. Because this is probably true in any business. The best marketer is going to win, right? Definitely. If I can pull in more, if I can attract more people that are inquiring about my product or my services, I can fumble my way around and still be able to convert clients and bring some cash coming in. Why do most people get out of this business? Because they don't bring in enough cash to survive or to even live. Then if they don't have enough money to live, then they don't have enough money to reinvest in their business.
Right. So like they close a deal and then like that's it, right? They take a couple months off and they haven't been prospecting.
Or they close a deal. Let's say they close a deal and they spend it all on brand new shoes, like whatever nice shoes cost.
Keeping up with the Joneses, huh?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's the problem is they spend that money before they make it.
Yeah.
Or they spend all of their commission check and they're not factoring one, you got to pay taxes. Two, how are you going to continue attracting more and more clients? What do can you take 50% of that check, hold it back, that commission check, hold it back, reserve some of it for taxes, and then reserve the rest for marketing, right? So that you can go get another client and then 2 more clients and then 5 more clients.
Right.
I went to a real estate training in 2008. And his name was Todd Bates. Unfortunately, he's passed away, no longer with us. But he had said something that had really changed my outlook on all this. Is he's like, if you've got 1 or 2 deals working at any given time, if one or both of those deals terminate and go away, that affects your business and your month big time.
Absolutely.
But if you have 8 deals under contract, right? If you have 8 closings in 1 month, and let's say 2 of those terminate, you still have 6 more closings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and not only does it affect you financially, but mentally.
Yeah.
Right, and you got a pretty good story on how you had 8.
Right? Yeah, right. It happened to me. Right. So in 2008, I had 8 deals. I had 8 contracts going in 1 month. It was like $92,000 in commission, and I was walking around like a Superman. Right, bullets bouncing off my chest. I'm
already counting dollars.
Dude, right? I was spending that money. I was already ready to spend that money. And
what were you gonna buy?
I mean, back then it was probably gamble a little bit. Yeah. I mean,
what year was that?
2008.
2008. Okay.
Yeah, I was going to go to the casino. I still like to gamble. I just got back from the casino last night.
Where'd you go?
Out in Shreveport.
Did you win?
No.
Are you lucky?
I'm lucky in business because I work hard. not when it comes to gambling. But right. But I had 8 deals under contract, and all 8 of those contracts fell apart and did not come back to life.
That's crazy.
And I needed the money. I'm like, shit, what am I going to do? And so what I started questioning, do I have what it takes to stay in this business? Right? You probably have done it.
Oh yeah, absolutely,
right?
100%.
And there's probably, you can probably count, it's probably more than once that you've questioned, do you want to stay in this business?
Absolutely. I mean, I'd say it's multiple times a month. I mean, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, that happens. Even today, I question, do I want to run a big business? Right? Or do I just want to go and scale it back to being smaller? It's the same. We all go through it no matter what level we're at. And so,
so real quick, what did you do? So what did you do after those 8 deals terminated?
Right. So I started questioning if I was going to stay in this business or not. So I started looking for jobs.
Okay.
Right. Started looking for jobs, and during that time frame, the recession's in swing now. Not many people are hiring. More people are getting fired and laid off before, more than they're getting hired. So I've got a lot of competition. There's a lot more talented people out there. Mm-hmm. And I started looking for jobs, started calling employers, see if they were hiring, started going on job interviews, trying to sell myself in a job interview, doing the follow-up process because they don't offer you the job right away.
So what it sounded like you're actually trying to prospect for a job, which you could have been prospecting for a new business in real estate.
And I'll tell you, that's my light bulb. You've heard my story before, so you're trying to jump ahead of the curve here. But that's the light bulb moment, right? So I went on a job interview at a foreclosure company that was clearing off foreclosed assets, and they offered me a position. Right, they offered me $65,000 a year. Monday through Saturday was the required work time, and then to hit bonuses, I really needed to work on Sunday and also try to squeeze in another 24-hour day. I really needed to find a way to work 8 days a week, yeah. Right? And I needed the money, man. But what I did right there is like, all right, let me think about it. I appreciate the job offer. Can you give me 24 hours? And during that time that I was thinking about, that's when that light bulb moment went off. A light bulb moment of if I were to spend as much time like in my real estate business and looking for motivated sellers and buyers the way I did for looking for a job, there's no way I can fail. And so what I started studying was the prospecting style of this business, right? The prospecting style of going out and talking to strangers who don't know me, right? And then funneling them down. Strangers like expired listings. Expired listings are people that tried to sell with other brokerages and unfortunately their house didn't sell, right? So going after that market, going after for sale by owners, right? And so I turned down the job and I thanked them for their time, which thankfully I did because they actually went out of business once they started closing that out. I think they only lasted like 5 years.
Wow.
And ever since that mind shift and that epiphany, I mean, we've been from 2008, we formed the Good Home Team in 2009, and we've been on that upward momentum to where we are today, running a 7-figure real estate business.
What do you think has been contributing to your upward trend of growth in the business? Because I'm sure if you're an agent, you're probably wanting to grow a real estate sales team yourself. What do you think has been that factor, or what's that X factor that's keeping you on that upward trend?
One, just I'm always learning, right? I took my mentors like Jay Kinder, Michael Reese, Josh Shashong. They're all in my, they're in my marketplace, and I was seeing what they're doing, learning from them. I learned to call expireds and really from Josh Shashong and Michael Reese, and I implement that in our business. And when we were small, it was easier to implement really fast, right? We could test something out and see, are we going to make money from it? So it's always learning and then making sure that there's a return on that investment. So, and today, I mean, you've seen me do it, here is that I'm also always constantly looking to try to implement more and more consistent lead generation tools that will help set our agents up for winning and success.
Yeah, absolutely. Just, different opportunities, different way of capturing attention, trying different lead sources, stuff like that. So, it's been really good watching, because I've been on your team for about almost 3 years now.
Yeah.
It's been a journey, man. It's been, it's really molded me into the agent I am today. It's been awesome watching the Good Home Team success and my growth and your growth as well.
Well, our success only comes from success from like yours, right? I'm not the one moving the ship anymore. I'm directing the ship, right? I'm the one navigating the waters, but making sure that guys, like, if we're on the right course, you're absorbing and implementing what I've taught, and it's working. You signed a listing today.
Yep.
Right? You are taking more consistent business than you ever had in the 3.5 years of being a licensed real estate agent.
Yeah. And this listing I took was actually a referred from a past client of ours. So obviously that means we're doing a good job. And people are wanting to use us as to sell the property.
Yeah. And I mean, why do you think that, you went from, let's flip it a little bit.
Yeah.
You went from, again.
Wait, it's supposed to be by you, man.
Right. But I always like to hear how you went from no deals in the first 8 months to joining our team. You still didn't get any deals, to us almost firing you, right? Mm-hmm. To then you opening your mind and absorbing what we were teaching and training, started implementing it, started seeing the success. Now, it didn't come, even then, it didn't come as fast, right? It was still that roller coaster, right? 1 month you would have a great month, the next month you would have nothing. And then you would come to me like, man, like, I don't know if I want to be in this business.
Right.
And we would have this hour-long conversation and get deep and
those are my favorite.
Yeah, right. And really talk about, dude, this is your vehicle to where you're wanting to go. Right? And looking at this as most people probably don't see themselves as a lifelong career realtor, right? Or real estate agent. They see themselves as using this vehicle, helping clients buy and sell traditionally, to earning money that you can go reinvest to get rental properties, to flip, right?
Right.
And then, now with EXP Really, now with the platform, that the brokerage and platform we're aligned with now, you're able to now mentor agents and help them. For example, you have an agent that joined that partnered with you, and he's here at the Good Home Team. He just executed his first contract.
Yeah, I mean, I literally walked this kid through this entire contract, and yeah, it felt good, right, to be in that kind of position of being looked up to.
It's not even that you made a difference. Looking good,
Yeah,
that's what I mean. But
That's
you
what I
made a
mean.
difference
Yeah.
in this kid's life. This kid is very similar to you. He closed no deals in his first 6 months. I'm projecting 4 to 6
I
months.
think it was 6 months.
6 months at another brokerage, and he joins us, and you took him under your wing,
Yep.
and he's not been with us. Has he been with us more than 2 months, or
I think right at 2 months now.
right at 2 months?
Right.
And he is working a complicated deal that he solved on his own,
Yeah.
right? With your help and guidance. He brought a seller together and a buyer together. The seller did not want to put their home officially on the market, but he brought the buyer in. He was able to navigate the waters of who's going to pay the commission, right? And it's now under contract.
Yeah, he natural born problem solver, man.
Yeah. And so that is the cool thing that you get to, that as real estate agents, we're not just helping clients buy and sell. We can help the real estate industry, and you're now putting your confidence that you're having into other agents and helping them grow their business.
We're making a difference with people. And I mean, it's when he came on, I mean, like you said, similar stories, not great on the phone. And when I first came onto the team, it was more like I was coming from the restaurant industry, right? So It's a totally different dynamic, right? I'm working from 4 to 12, sometimes even 2 o'clock in the morning, and having to come back here at 8 o'clock and cold call, man. It was just a totally different monster.
Yep.
Right. And it's just like what you said. It wasn't until I got super intentional, I sat you guys down and said, hey, I want this back.
Yeah.
What do I need to do? And you guys just said, look,
We probably said the first thing, if I remember correctly, was say you got to trust in the process and trust in the systems, right? What ends up happening is most people don't trust in the processes, right? The processes and the systems are in place to help you. And most people maybe they'll give 1 or 2 days to do it, and they're like, oh, it's not working, I just give up. I'm going to do it my own way. Like your own way that didn't work the first time, right?
Yeah.
And the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting different results, right?
Yeah.
And so, what we've seen and what we've found is we've been able to take agents with no experience, or take agents that have experience, and implement our systems, our guidance and training, and their business goes up. Now, the ones that don't, they are blocking out and resisting the systems and trainings, and they're not implemented all the way into their business.
Why do you think that is? You think it's something sort of ego-based?
Yeah. So one of our mentors, Jefferson Santos, talked about this being there's several different, egos, and being shy can be considered an ego.
Being shy.
Really? That was kind of surprising. It's like, actually, I'm too shy. There's no way I can talk to strangers. I can't make cold calls. Like, why not? What is stopping you from having success? Only you're the one stopping yourself from success, right? Not other people, right? You're the one who has control whether you're going to have success or not.
100%.
Right? It's not in someone else's hands. If you didn't have success here and you were blaming me, that's now you becoming a victim, and you're playing the victim mindset mentality. You can thrive here, and have as much success as you would like. If the minute that you stop having success is the minute you stop plugging in, the minute that you stop, doing those lead generation, those dollar generating activities, right?
Right. I actually made a post about that not too long ago, and when you said the thing about being shy is actually, what was it?
That's an ego.
It's an ego thing, right? So I made a post recently on how I wouldn't say afraid to create content, but I didn't want to put myself out there as much.
Yeah.
And I realized from one of my mentors is that that's a selfish mindset.
It is.
Right? So like I don't want to create content because I don't feel like it. But what if the content you can create inspires and changes somebody's life.
I'm the same way. I don't want to create content because I'm always afraid of it coming out like I don't know what I'm talking about, or maybe that people see me in a different light, and I'm afraid of that. Right?
I think we all go through that.
It's not even a rejection. I don't really fear the rejection. I fear that people may view me a certain way, and then I start talking, and they're like, "Oh, he doesn't know what he's talking about," even though I may not have articulated it as well at that time. Right. And so
I can resonate with that.
Yeah, it's the same thing. And so you've done a great job. Maybe that's why I'm podcast number 3 and not number 1, because you've talked about doing this, and now you're implementing it and saying, "Hey, Nick, come on." I know you had LA on number 2. I think who was number 1? Was it Daniel?
Daniel Ramirez.
Yeah, I mean Daniel Ramirez is another kid is he younger than you?
Yeah, he's 25.
Yeah, 25. He's doing great things.
Yeah.
Right. And what I respect out of Daniel is that he has no problem. He hit me up the other day on Instagram and was talking about how he looked up to our team and what we're doing, and that kid is not afraid to learn. Now, if he's not implementing, then that's a different thing.
Story,
that's a different story, right? And I don't know if he is or isn't, but I know that he's having success at 25 years old, and it's impressive.
I mean, he's having more success at 25 than most people in their 40s.
Yeah.
Right. With Daniel, I mean, he's just like I am. Like we're students of life, right? I mean, it wasn't until I started implementing the mindset of always assuming that I'm wrong, or I can learn. You can always learn something from somebody.
Yeah.
Right. So always assume that you're wrong. Right. How do you feel about that?
Look, I'm not going to always assume that I'm wrong. But I'm always going to ask questions from people that have already walked the path that I want to walk, right? Mm-hmm. And whether or not I implement that right now, that may be a different story, right? So I did a talk with Wayne Salomon's tribe yesterday, and I shared my story, shared a little bit about the training that I do about the emotional cycle of change. And I'd also shared that I will ask questions because my mind is working 3, 4, 5 years ahead of where we're currently at. And so I want to ask questions where those people already are. Now I'm not ready to implement those yet, but I'm going to start asking questions so I can start processing. That way we can be prepared and set ourselves up for when we're getting there. Or if our business starts getting the momentum to where we jump, ahead, by 2 or 3 years at any given time, then we're ready to implement.
You already know what's
absolutely
right.
Yep. Yeah. Gotcha. So I'm always going to learn from people that walk the path that I want to walk.
So right now with the Good Home team, where are you? Where is the team at, and where do you want to be? Where do you see this team going?
It's a great question. So this has changed, right? So and it's okay to change kind of the direction that you're going in. So when we were with our previous brokerage before we were with Keller Williams, the entire goal was only focused on expansion, right? And kind of looking back at that expansion, meaning we were going to open up multiple locations in different cities and different states, and giving that opportunity to our agents, trying to partner with agents that want to join the Good Home team.
I remember exploring that option. I remember we went to Austin. I said, "Hey, let me extend down here."
And so, the way that I looked at that is now looking back in hindsight, when we were going down that path, I felt like I also neglected our main location, which was the only location that we had at the time. We had opened Houston. We had a location in Houston, and that was kind of somewhat successful. We had proven the concept that we can go into another city and make sales. Now, what we did not prove is to be able to find the right leadership talent to be able to grow that and scale it, right?
Sure.
So when we merged from that brokerage to eXp Realty, we put the expansion model on hold, right? And the focus with that is our goal is, we call it the path to 100 million. So we want to do 100 million in sales volume here locally with the Good Home team. We want to have at any given time 25 to 35 agents on our team, as well as before we start really looking at expansion, or because eXp Realty allows us to partner with agents across the country in a network marketing style of business model, we are able to partner with agents all across the country that don't have to join our team, right? They don't have to abide by the structures that we have.
Sure.
And so where I want the Good Home Team to go is we're going to hit 100 million in sales, right? And we're going to have
20 it out there in the universe.
That's right. We're going to have 25 to 35 producing agents on the Good Home Team that is going to be our talent bench of people who want more opportunity. Because eventually agents, you're low battery on that one. Eventually your agents get tired of just wanting to sell all the time.
Sure.
Right? So they look for more opportunity, whether that's residual income, whether that's investment opportunities, et cetera. That's something that we're looking to partner with those people, right?
Absolutely.
And so, we call that our other opportunity that good network, right? And that's agents who want to partner with us. Now they would have to join eXp Realty,
sure.
But they get to learn from us. They get to look at the tools, the trainings, the systems that we're doing, and partner with Jay Kenner, Michael Reese, and the National Association of Expert Advisors.
Right.
And so the goal is as we are still going to expand into other cities with a Good Home Team, we're also wanting to partner with over 1,000 agents. Our goal is 1,000. It's right there. 1,050 agents is our goal, right? And we're almost at 100. We're almost there
With the good network.
With the good network, we're almost there. And so we're really looking to hit that 1,050, path to 100 million. And then start expanding that Good Home Team brand out there, because again, not everyone is going to want different opportunities.
Absolutely. And I think just talking shop, eXp opportunities it's interesting because if you're a team leader and you've built this great relationship with, let's just say, this agent in Austin,
yep,
and you're in Dallas, what are the chances, or what's the likelihood of him coming up and moving to Dallas just to be on your team?
I'll give you a perfect example. As I chatted with a guy last year, and 2018 actually, and I gave him some advice about, he had asked me, should I join a real estate team? And he's in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and so he had asked me, should I join a real estate team?
Was he a producing agent?
He was an agent, but he was not producing all the way yet.
Okay.
And so I started asking some questions. I said, dude, you should absolutely join a team. I am a big believer that if I could do it all over again, I would join a real estate team, right? They shortcut the process. It's their money. Yes, you have to have a different commission split, but at the end of the day, your net profit is actually higher on a real estate team than it is as a team owner or team leader or as an individual agent. But so I told him to join a real estate team. He did. He had some success. But some things came up in his life that he had to go part-time, right? And go get he is currently the number one LA fitness sales counselor in the country.
Okay.
And so he hit me back up, and we're now in partnership. He's not part of the Good Home Team. He's part of that good network, but we're able to partner with him in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, to where eventually that could be a guy that could open up our location of the Good Home Team.
Okay.
Right? We're personally not ready for that yet. We still need to see if he's talented, and it allows us to get into partnership and start exploring that without committing any money spent behind it or sharing a profit and loss. We're now able to partner with larger real estate teams across the country or here locally that would never join forces, like Nicole Espinosa, the short sale queen, partnered with us. And we don't have to share P&Ls. They run their business, we run ours, right? We still collaborate. We call it collaboration over competition, right? And at the end of the day, it's a win-win for everyone.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah. Because now you get to partner with agents that are on a national level, right? And they still get to utilize your resources, come to you for guidance, and utilize who you look up to, Jay Kinder, Michael Reese.
Yeah, and there's others. I mean, we have the cool thing about this, and I don't want to make this an eXp.
It's not. That's not what we're trying to do.
I always make sure, like, look, I love the company that we're with, right? So I'm going to shout it from the rooftops. But I look at it. We're aligned with a team down in Houston, Texas, that sold $32 million in December. Andrew Franklin, the Franklin team, $32 million in closing just December of 2019.
That's insane.
That guy will open up his entire playbook.
Yeah.
Right. I guarantee you, if you had another brokerage and someone sold $32 million worth, they're not going to tell you everything they're doing. Right.
No,
especially if you're a competitor.
Yeah.
Right. That's the thing. So, we talk about collaboration over competition. It allows us to get in partnership with real estate teams, because even if someone's doing more than you, we still, you still have something to offer them.
Mm-hmm.
Right. You may have better systems and better processes. You may have a better, they may be nailing one thing better than you are, and you're doing something better than they are, and they can still learn from you, and vice versa.
Right. I mean, the network is just insane. I mean, again, we're not trying to make CXP, but just kind of give an example. And, Nick was actually paying for, Jay Kinder, Michael Reese's coaching back in 2011. You still got some binders back there.
I think it was even earlier.
2010, 2009?
Yeah. Yep.
You were paying for these guys as coaching, and now with the XP model, you're able to, now they're opening up those playbooks that you used to pay for on a monthly basis. Right now they're sharing that openly.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah. That's I have them on speed dial. Right. You know, and we were friends before, but at the same time, we were competitors. They had an independent brokerage here. We were competitors. They weren't going to tell me what they were doing.
Right.
Right. So I can now ring up Jay, ring up Mike, and they share their lead generation funnels. Mike, Jay was advising me that I should have done some radio ads, which I did not do. So I don't know yet.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know. I don't want
to do AM.
$12,000 a month is a lot.
You do on 97.9 The Beat FM.
All of it.
Yeah,
all of it. So that's the thing is that we have that opportunity, and as real estate agents, we've got to do a better job of checking our ego at the door, right? And we always say, and I have in my notes somewhere that Jefferson Santos talked about, which one is bigger, your ego or your bank account, right? And a lot of times it's going to be someone's ego that's bigger than their bank account, and that's affecting their bank account, right? And that was me at the longest time. Like even when I talked to Jay Kinder, I was at Jay Kinder, Michael Reese, Tim Grubbs, Woods Davis. We all went to lunch. We were at Payway. No, we were at P.F. Chang's, sitting around the table, and I'm like, yeah, guys, they're pitching me on EXP. I'm like, that sounds great, but I think I'm acting like I have the better answer here, right? Like when it fails, it's not profitable, blah blah blah, and I shot him down, right? And looking back at it, that was my ego talking. That was me not knowing and just talking out of my ass. And then I started doing research. I started studying it. I said, all right, I get it. I get the model. Right.
Once you saw it, you couldn't unsee it.
Yeah. That's what Jay Kinder says.
That's what they say.
Yeah. So real estate agents need to do that. We need to check, like I still have a lot to learn from people, right? I still go in rooms like Veronica Figueroa is in our group, in my mastermind group. I mean, she's going from, I think, 500 home sales. She'll do over 1,000 home sales this year.
Wow.
Right. I mean, I have a lot to learn, and most agents go to learn, or they just like to go to class to act busy. They like to post it on the gram, like at another real estate class, and then when they leave that class, they never implement it.
There's a difference between being busy and being productive, right?
100%.
Yeah. So I mean, just with the whole EXP, the model, just the alignment is just crazy. Like you said, you get to ask these people questions on how they're doing a business on such a high level, and they're open to sharing what they're doing, right? And it's crazy because you were paying for Jay Kinder, Michael Reese's coaching back in the day, and it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be in their circle. The last time I went to EXP conference, I mean, I was in Jay Kinder's private room, and we were masterminding. It was a very close circle. It was his people.
I'm jealous, man. I was not there. I was jealous. So much FOMO on that one.
It was his people and me.
Yeah.
So I was the odd man out.
Yeah.
But that's the power of the network, right?
Yep.
And even for UFC fights, I'm going over to Michael Reese's house, and it's just like maybe 4 or 5 guys. It's very tight, close knit circle.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I mean, look, it's your net worth your network equals your net worth, right?
100%.
And if you want to up your net worth, you need to get a better network.
Get around the right people.
Yeah. And so, and that's a huge deal. It doesn't mean that you got to get rid of yours.
There goes. Man, I got a couple of questions actually for you, man.
Yep.
I'm just going to kind of rapid fire these. probably some questions you've never even heard about, but I want to kind of open you up, kind of see you in a different light.
Yeah.
I see you almost every day.
Yep.
But I don't know too much about you.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. What are you hiding?
We're about to find out.
What are you hiding, man?
Here's the hot seat.
Who are your mentors? Like, who do you look up to?
That's a great question. I mean, it's Jay Kinder. Jay Kinder is turned into an amazing mentor. I'm lucky enough now to call him a friend. Ryan Stewman, I've known Stewman for a long time, and I look up to him. I look up to him from what he's built, how he's overcome the obstacles in his business. Mm-hmm. My brother is a big one, man. He's younger than me, but I mean, what that kid does, he's a genius. He's one of the hardest working people I know.
His work ethic is
like no other.
Actually,
I put my brother as number one. I mean, what he's doing to change the trajectory of our family is no other. I mean, I know that's a lot of pressure he has, but definitely my brother's number one.
What about outside of real estate?
That's tough. I really don't have any right now because I'm full in on the real estate side. I mean, I know I saw Ed Milet. I don't know if he's really a mentor. I listened to a lot of his podcasts. But at this moment, I mean, I'm still diving into the real estate side and learning as much as I can. So it's really that, my brother, Jay Kinder, Stewman on the marketing side, Michael Reese on the marketing side. And until that, I feel like I've hit that effectively. Mm-hmm. I don't like to brand it cloudy up my mindset.
And judgment and stuff. Gotcha. I mean, if you knew you couldn't fail, what would you do?
I'd do what I'm doing every day. I mean, if I knew I couldn't fail, which we still take that mindset, we would probably just triple down on more of our investments. Mm-hmm. In hindsight, I wish we would have bought more real estate during the recession than we did. Mm.
Okay. I guess that's another question I had. If you can go back in time, what would you do differently, if anything?
We would have bought more real estate.
More real estate?
More real estate.
When?
I mean,
at any given time?
2010. That's when we bought our first flip property, 2010. So we just bought more, held more, not flipped them all. We would have kept them, turned them into rentals. I mean, the equity gain was huge. Mm-hmm. We bought 10 rentals during the recession, and we sold them last year because of the equity gain. It just made more sense to sell, capture that equity, and then redeploy it.
We put it back in something else.
Yep.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm. So obviously, you've been in business for about how many years?
Since 2007.
Pure real estate.
Pure all real estate.
So you've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yep.
Right. So how do you keep yourself positively inspired during overwhelming times in your life?
I look, all this is temporary, right? I'm always a believer that in the beginning, and I don't know if you have any of these on your list of questions, but in the beginning, I was always afraid of. I'm still afraid of failure today, but I was afraid of people calling me a fraud, right? Where people see something successful and they're like, and then they peek behind the curtain like, oh, that guy's a fraud. Right? I was always afraid of that. Like I never wanted to come off acting like. So
that was your biggest fear?
Biggest fear, yeah. Being a big shot, right? And so, what was the main question? I was really thinking about
how do you keep yourself positive, inspired?
Positive.
You've seen the good, the bad, the ugly.
What I've learned is that, again, everything's temporary. We can change the trajectory of our path, right? This is if I were to lose everything today, I know that all I have to do is just continue working hard, and I can rebuild.
What is that saying that you said that you say?
The prospecting one.
Prospecting solves everything.
Yeah, prospecting solves everything. So, which is lead generation solves everything. Yep. And so, I'm not afraid. And look, we all have bad days. We all have days where it feels like the world's the sky's crashing, the world's coming apart, and if I let that word affect my mindset too much, then it's going to paralyze me from lead generating, finding, and generating revenue.
So you think that we are directly responsible for killing our own momentum?
100%.
You think so?
Yeah.
Why is that?
because we let that victim mindset creep into our mind, right? And the minute we stop taking responsibility is the minute that we start pushing everything off on other people and saying, this is your fault. I'm not here because it's your fault, right? And we can't do that. I have to accept the responsibility that I'm in whatever position I'm in because of my actions. Absolutely. And how can I change that? My actions can change that. Yeah. My actions got me here. My actions can get me out.
Absolutely. Yeah, we create the future, man. There's no future. We create it, right?
Yep.
What makes you angry?
Everything. Yeah. People not following through with what they say they're going to do. And honestly, it's angry, but even a letdown and a disappointment is people not living up to their potential, right? People, we've had people on the team that I've taken under my wing. They're no longer here with us on the team, that they had so much potential but they weren't ready to accept responsibility.
Sure.
That makes me angry. That makes me angry for losing that time that I could have been spending with my family.
Okay. So, I mean, you obviously, you brought up Austin and how, he's changing what you guys are trying to do in changing the trajectory of your family, right? And you just brought that up, like, you don't want time being taken away from your family.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's important to you, right?
Yep.
I guess that kind of segues in my next question is what's your why at this point? When we talk about why, KW likes to do that stuff.
Well. I mean, here's what I'll say to that. I mean, it's always going to be my family. Number one is my why is going to be my family. I want to make sure that I'm setting my family and future generations up for success, right? But at the same time, that should always be your why. And I look at it. My why is now for my people in my world, like you, Elizabeth, right? Nate, Jorge, everyone on our team that is actually taking action and wanting to learn, wanting a bigger, better life, right? I mean, I'll pour into anybody that is going to hear it out and then start taking action.
Implement.
Yeah.
Wow.
So my why is really helping. If I can help change the trajectory of your life, Elizabeth's life, Arthur's life, right? And I can have a little bit of impact on that. I think that's cool because
absolutely.
What could that do if you ever have children? Could you do that? Or if you as you're continuing to bring agents on, how can you impact their lives like you did with Brendan, right? Brendan has a huge opportunity to really grow and thrive, right? Erica in Chicago, Chantel, right? You have an opportunity to change their path as long as they're willing to hear it out and accept it.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So what was your why before your family?
I wanted a private jet.
Private jet?
I wanted private jet money.
Why was that important?
It's probably status. Probably status.
You know what? That was mine too. I wanted that FU money, like Grant Cardone.
Yep.
I wanted that FU money back.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I was taught that was a wrong why, and I'm now looking back, it's not.
But according to whose standards, though?
Exactly. I think that's okay in the beginning, especially when you're young and naive. I wanted materials. I was materialistic. I dropped out of high school at 17 years old. I got a GED. My mom has a doctorate in education. She was a school teacher, a principal, as a superintendent of a school district today, right? When your sons, Austin and I both dropped out of high school, got our GED, right? We have something to prove. Right. And that in our time, having money is a level of success, right? It's a scoreboard.
Absolutely.
And then as you start having a family, it changes. That's not as important. You start to see, all right, at 37 years old, you do your life expectancy. It's like, man, I'm running out of time, right? It's not a good feeling to have.
Have you hit your midlife crisis yet?
No.
No, not yet. What are you gonna do?
I don't know.
You buy a Lambo like Austin?
No, I'm too tall to get out of that thing.
Got to buy that jet.
Yeah, a jet.
Is the jet still on the vision board?
I think the jet is still on the vision board. I think it's more about luxury travel, right? My wife and I love to travel. We want to be able to have our kids experience different aspects of the different parts of the world. Right. So it's changed. I mean, I would love to do maybe travel private or just first class or whatever. So more frequently.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I want that jet, man. I mean, I'll do
Get it.
anything. Yeah.
Get it. Anything.
Anything. Yeah. How do you think I got so good at getting a listing appointment?
Hey, a listing's a listing.
That's right, man. What gives you hope? What gives you hope? Simple questions.
I don't know on that one.
Besides me, of course, but
I don't know if I live on hope. Look, I don't even know how to answer that question all the way. What gives you hope?
Just looking forward to the future.
Then I would say that looking forward to, I hope that I'm able to. What gives me hope is I'm hoping that I'm helping change people's lives.
Mm-hmm.
We're all here. We're actually all teachers, and we don't know it, right?
Yeah,
so I'm hoping
that's good.
hoping that I can whether it's financially, having a better financial awareness and mindset, that we all don't have to kill ourselves working 80 hours a week. If we were to invest correctly, if we were to save correctly, then we can have a better lifestyle instead of just being here and a slave to work.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. What is something you believe in that few people around you believe?
I don't know. I wish you would have given me these questions more.
Yeah,
These are
spot,
tough,
man.
dude.
Yeah.
So something that I believe in that a few people around me believe. That we are all focused on building. Money doesn't buy happiness, but money.
It brings peace of mind.
Yes, it brings that safety net.
Absolutely.
Right, and so trying to work and have money can come off negative, right? Making a lot of money and being that 1%er. A lot of people hate on that, and so we're not apologizing for that kind of stuff. So a lot of our people in our network, we talk about money. We believe in being open and talking about what the power of money and being financially free can do.
Yeah, I think it's all about just, you want to attract the right people, right? You had fears of coming off as a fraud and, not
I still have that fear.
Right. And not, being seen as that person that he knew what he was doing, right?
Yep.
But I think it's all about, we want to attract the people, attract people who we want in our lives, right? And I have the mindset of where, if somebody doesn't like me, then who cares?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I want to help as many people as I can, just like you and your mindset too. But at the end of the day, not everybody's going to like you. That's all right.
Yeah. No, I have it I don't care if people don't like me. Right. I'm over that, that wanting to be like if the people that are in my circle, you're a part of it. Like you came to, you guys threw me my close people threw me a birthday party I didn't even know about. That thing was amazing. Right. And honestly, looking, Wayne Salomon's event yesterday, you had recorded a video. Now Wayne didn't put it up there, but you shared it with me. You're nice enough to share that with me, and kind of seeing not just your video, but the impact that I've had on others. Right. So it's eye-opening to say that actually more people are listening, more people are watching than you think. And that's on everybody.
Right.
That's on you. That's on, Arthur. That's on Elizabeth. Like more and more people are watching than we think about. And we have the ability to help them.
Yeah. You're very bright. And that's kind of one of my next questions is I gravitate towards you and your logical kind of thinking, because it makes sense. And, you've more than likely been in my shoes. And if I can come to you and ask you, a question, you're like, hey man, well, this is what I did.
Yeah.
And, I'm just, pretty much just kind of,
look, we all want to, if we're going to take advice from someone, we need to take advice from someone who's already walked that path. Right. And so that was, again, when we made a big business decision to move from a brokerage we were with to go to EXP. And I wanted to make sure that we were aligning ourselves with people that have done that, people who are at the business level of where we want to go, right? We're not just going to change to change. And it's the same thing from anything. Like if I want to get healthier, I'm not going to go hang out with a whole bunch of unhealthy people.
You can go work out at Planet Fitness.
Yeah, where you eat pizza and you can't grunt or whatever it is, right? And so
I think if you step in, you'll set off the lunk alert right off.
I don't even know what that is.
Hey, you can't slam the weights, otherwise
I slam the weights.
The alarm will go off.
No, I slam.
But I think they'll see you and say, "Man, this guy's a lunk."
That's a lunker. I don't even know. I didn't even know that was a thing. Did they have an alarm?
Yeah, it's like a siren.
Huh. Yeah,
and kick you out.
Yeah, but it's really like follow the path that's already been cut on that to where you want to go, right?
Right.
They always say make your own path, but what if you get lost? Chances are you're going to get lost, and you could have walked that proven path, to help you get to where you want to go a lot faster.
Mm-hmm. I mean, so I guess that kind of answers my question. Like, what do you gravitate towards that others shy away from? What are you obsessed about?
Success. Yeah. Success.
What is success defined in your words, in your mind?
That success now for me is that my agents are continuing to build their lifestyle that they want to have, right? The agents in our network see the value in partnering with us, and ultimately success in that our agents are knocking off the items that's on their goal list. Mm-hmm. I'm going to get mine. Right, I'm going to get mine with the help of the people that's in our world, right? And we've already built up, and we already, Austin and I talk about this all the time. We have an amazing life from the amount of work and the energy we've already put into it. And success to me is now I want my agents to do that. Now I want my people in my world to do that. And I'm like, people are going to get tired of me, on multiple shows I talk about this. It's like, that's what keeps me up at night. We've had people that personally that I've taken under my wing, that I poured my heart and soul into these people, and they weren't ready to hear it yet, right? Mm-hmm. And they could have been a lot further ahead.
Yeah, and I mean, being on your team and being in your world, I can honestly say first-handedly that you do care. You do care. I mean, any questions I have, anything to help me get a better life, I can feel it. And I'm appreciative to have you as a mentor.
Are you feeling what I'm putting in you?
I am. Yeah, that's a line that we use on the phones. What it's like a tie down.
It's a tie down.
It's like a tie down.
NLP
right?
tie down, neuro linguistic programming tie down. So
like a tie down, like, would you agree, stuff like that. And I came up with, are you feeling what I'm putting in you? And sometimes I'll just say that over the phone, and then
it makes it fun.
And people, man,
100% of the time they say yes.
They say yeah, and then they're like, "What?" They're like, what?
Yep.
Sometimes I don't even know what I just said. They just say yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
You got them on the yes track.
So that's what it's all about. So I meant to ask this question before this one, but what do others seem to come to you instead of going to someone else for? What are people coming to you for?
Investment advice.
Investment advice.
Investment advice. Real estate investing, business. Real estate business. Growth.
Mm. What compels you to act?
Continued growth, continued winning.
I thought those two went hand in hand.
Yeah, right. Continued growth, continued winning. Dude, we're competitive here, right? I mean, we look at other teams and we're like, we're done comparing ourselves to others, but we know hands down that we've got the, I look at this as a football team. We have the right team to win the Super Bowl. And if we're not winning, then I have to look at myself from the leadership side and say, what can I do better to help put my people in the right frame of mind to win?
I mean, are you always thinking about business?
100%.
So you're always looking for opportunities?
100%.
And so my next question would be, what is something you just can't get out of your head?
There's things I can't talk about there's a lot of things in my head that I can't get out of it, but there's things I can't talk about right now. From the real estate investment side, I mean, we just started a company called Good Horn Capital with Low Hornbuckle, and I am in the middle of studying the multifamily money raising game. So raising money from high net worth accredited investors to invest in our projects. And I'm learning, that's one thing that I've committed to learning this year and going to more of those conferences, more of the multifamily real estate investment conferences to learn to get in that connection world. Because, I'm decently well known in the traditional real estate industry world. I want to learn who the players are in the multifamily real estate investment game and ultimately learn how to continue raising money, right? So that we can continue having people invest in our projects. And what that will do is that will continue increasing our net worth and monthly revenue, recurring revenue that comes from it. So that's one thing I can't get out of my head right now is really making sure, again, I don't want to sound like a fraud on that side. Sure. Right. I mean, people see me as a successful investor, but really it's because what my brother's done, right? I'm a partner in that. And it's getting to be I need to learn the rest of that knowledge.
So y'all are splitting everything 50-50?
Yep.
Pretty much?
Yep.
Yeah. It makes sense. I mean, you're staying, you're making sure that you're doing your own homework. So if somebody asks you or, somebody want to come invest with you, obviously they want to feel that they're being trusted. Right? In trusted hands.
Yeah. And likewise, I don't have real estate agents talk to my brother about how to build a good real estate business, right? We stayed our lane. We can't have two chiefs, right? Or two cooks in the kitchen.
Sure.
And so we stayed our lane, and now as we see it in the long run, is that with Good Horn Capital, that I still need to learn that side of the business because my natural, abilities to get in conversation with people and get to know them well, I can funnel them down to Austin and Low and have conversations about investing in our projects. So, now it becomes it's just another path for us to continue growing our business and staying relevant.
Absolutely, man. That's awesome. If you ain't growing, you're dying, right?
100%.
100%.
I'm not ready to die.
Not yet. You're almost at that midlife crisis, though.
Yeah.
Almost. Man, that's pretty much it, man. What do you listen to in Audible right now? What do you got?
I don't listen to Audible.
No?
I can't listen.
I thought you did.
No. I'm a book reader. So right now I'm rereading Rich Dad Poor Dad. So I'm rereading. Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Retro, man.
Retro.
But that's the book that got you and Austin in the business, right?
Got us in the business. I'm rereading that one, and then I'm reading some marketing books like Dan Kennedy's Magnetic Marketing. And continue reading that because we need to continue learning how to attract that right customer, and really learning that. Yeah.
I'm listening to Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. I just finished that, man. It's one of the best books as far as mindset.
Yeah, and he's a great dude.
Have you read it?
I have not read it. I've heard a lot of people. No, but I follow him on Instagram and read his stories.
Michael Reese actually, I think he runs in some of the same circles as David.
Yeah, that's cool.
Great book and so good they can't ignore you.
Okay.
You heard that one?
No. I like it. I'm going to read more, but I'm learning more of the investment stuff this year. Yeah. So I like to stay in my lane and where I'm at. I don't want to, if I go too many directions, then it gets all muddied up here.
You got to go deep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not wide.
Yep.
So, man, that's pretty much it. If you guys have any questions, let us know. I mean, Nick, anything else you want to share?
I mean, the main thing is if you're a real estate agent and you're listening to this, I mean, what I would really say is get with David if you're really wanting to grow your business. I mean, what you're doing, like, no joke, we just talked about it before we went live. You've really grown. You're hitting that consistent stride, right? So you went from no business to inconsistent business to now consistently producing on a weekly, monthly basis to, your next step would be to being a top producer to then eventually running your own team. right? So if you're a real estate agent that is maybe they're struggling, maybe they need some more guidance. Sure. Maybe you're a newer agent. Maybe you're 3 years or under in this business, and you don't know which direction to go in. I would say reach out to David. You're doing great things with your Facebook group, with this podcast that you're doing, and connect with you. Whether you want to join and partner with David over at EXP, that's up to you. But I know that you would learn a lot from him, and look, your business and your bank account will benefit greatly from it.
Absolutely, just like it has with mine. I mean, I was actually hesitant myself as far as with the XP opportunity. It wasn't until I became radically open-minded about the idea and just anything in life. I mean, I was actually going through a time this past year of being like open-minded to anything and everything. Right? Yep. I was I wanted to try everything. Yep. And anything and make sure that I'm failing forward. Yep. Pretty much. So I think that's been the credit to my success is just being open-minded to anything. If you fail, I mean, that's a learning lesson in the end, right? I mean, what I always ask myself at the end of appointments, if I don't get them, like what could I have done better?
Yeah, 100%.
I even asked the prospect or the seller or the buyer, what sort of feedback could you give me? I want to improve my business always. I would never take it personal.
We always need to improve. So, I mean, that's what I say, man. I would leave anybody watching this as if they listen to an hour and 6 minutes, this is a long thing to listen through. Yeah. But it's definitely, I think it's worth it. I mean, you asked some great questions, and hopefully that people find value in what I had to say. But I mean, if I'm a newer agent or if I'm not happy with my business, I would look at partnership, right? And learning. Doesn't mean they have to join a team. I would definitely recommend the team route. But if you're not there yet, mentally not open-minded enough to get there yet, be open and minded enough to hear the opportunity of partnering with David. Because what that allows is that becomes a partnership of mine. That becomes a partnership with Jake Kenders and Michael Reese's, and see where your business goes. I mean, what can it hurt?
I mean, you've got everything nothing to lose and everything to gain.
Absolutely,
pretty much. So just being open-minded about any opportunity, right?
So, and then of course, go listen to the Only Real Estate podcast we're listening to.
Of course, you had to plug it.
Yep, and then join David's Facebook group. I think the Facebook group is called the Only Real Estate Group Worth Being a Part of.
That's the one that you don't want to join, actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, listen to the next podcast. The only real estate. What is it?
The Only Real Estate podcast worth listening to.
The only real estate podcast that's not worth listening to. There's the Only Real Estate group that's not worth being a part of. And then I have my own Facebook group. It's Keeping It Real in Real Estate. I'm going to drop all the links here in the comments so you guys can get connected and plug in. But we're going to be dropping content and value. Nick's doing a podcast every week on Wednesdays at 3 with this group of dudes. So, man, I'm
we got it done.
We did, man.
Yeah,
we've been planning for some time, man.
I appreciate
you
Yeah.
being here and taking the time out on a Saturday. Taking time away from your family. I'm grateful, bro.
Yeah.
That's what I am.
Yeah. Well, tell Heather thank you.
Thanks, Heather. I appreciate it.
So, all right, brother. Well, if you guys have any questions, drop in the comments below, and I'll be happy to answer any of them.
Hit me up. Drop my information as well. So let us know if you have any questions. Reach out to me or Nick. We'll be more than happy to help.
Hopefully you're feeling what we're putting in you.
Oh, yeah, they definitely did.
All right.
An hour's worth.